Hello everybody! Today I will be answering a few of your questions because I've been getting quite a few questions about what this gold making series is going, and one of the ones I want to look at today is basically someone asking, what is the thing, enough with this preparation rubbish, let's start covering the actual ways to make gold. And he's completely and utterly right, so now that's what we're going to delve into. We've got 129 gold, so enough with this building phase, let's go into the gold making thing. So just the one main thing I want to cover is really just that if you want to make a huge amount of gold, it's really a combination of several different things which we will be going over, but today it's time to start getting interesting. So you're going to talk to your auctioneer, you're going to scan. I myself did so like a couple of hours ago, and it takes so long to scan this auction house that I'm honestly not going to bother scanning again, but you really should. Okay, don't be lazy like me. Don't be lazy like the Tempest guy. Anyway, so then you're going to go and you're going to select the search tab at the bottom over here between appraiser and post. Search, right here at the bottom. There we go, let's click that. It has been clicked. And then you've got this little drop down menu for searches, and we're going to go to resale today. Now when you've picked resale, you're going to have a few things come up in this configuration window. So now I'm going to go over how you need to configure this for yourself, because this is a very I would call it kind of a custom thing. It's very much a personal preference kind of thing. You really need to decide how you want this to work. So I'm just going to go over it now. First off, allow bids or allow buyouts. The main thing with this, bids tend to get you a better deal, but you have to wait and there's a chance that you won't get any item at all. Okay, you'll never lose gold with bids in terms of if you don't get the item and someone outbids you, you'll get your gold back. Okay, so don't worry about that. You will get your gold back, but you'll have to wait and then it might not come through. And if you're okay with being patient, I would suggest allow bids. If you have a very low gold total, like you're just starting out, I would probably go with bids only, because it's really the best way to get deals, especially when you've got the lowest gold total. But I know a lot of you are more into the kind of Foster method, the more instant coffee type method. And while there is no instant coffee method, you do have the Foster method, which is the buyout. So I'm going to have both allow bids and allow buyouts active, and we're going to just leave it like that. Well, I will. And then basically we're going to have a look at this. Maximum price for resale. The main thing with this is there's no point in finding items that cost 160,000 gold and are the most amazing deal you'll ever find if you have 10 gold. If you can't buy it, there is no point in even looking at it. Don't waste your time. So you can go and enable individual maximum price and then set this to whatever you want. In this particular instance, let's go with 100 gold and no copper, just straight up 100 gold. It needs to be 100 gold or less, that is it. And then let's have a look over here. Okay, now you've got the fees adjustment. The fees adjustment is really, what this add-on is doing is it's searching for items that you can buy and then sell for a profit. So this add-on, being mind-blowingly smartly designed, has got something called the fees adjustment, which is basically saying, this is how much you're going to end up losing because of the deposits on this item and the auction fees when you sell it at the price that it reckons you'll be able to. So I would just leave that as is at 48 hours because it's just so damn smart and amazing. And then we've got the price valuation method. Just leave that at market price. That's what all the scanning is for. The scanning is getting data so that this thing can see, okay, let's have a look at the average price, the usual price for this item, and then let's have a look at what it's charged for now. So if something is usually worth 100 gold and it's currently selling for 20 gold, it's going to go, hey, go buy that item. Go do it now. Alrighty. And then over here we've got the minimum profit window. Now the main thing for minimum profit is you can set that however you want. If you are using really high maximum price for resale, then you can set the minimum profits, or set the minimum profit super high, and then you'll find like a couple of items that are very big investments but might pay off very well. But seeing as we're using a low gold total, we're going to set minimum profit to, like, let's go with a gold, because really if you're only owning silver, it's not really worth it in my opinion. And then we've got the minimum discount. Discount, it's How much lower is this than it normally is? Alright, so if you're going to set at 100%, I'm actually not quite sure as how the slider works. I would have to have a proper look at it, but one side, you know, it's basically there's no discount happening, which I think would be this one. I think 1%. So if it's 99%, it's pretty much the normal price. You don't want that. I would say about 50% is really, really, really good. If there just isn't enough for you to buy, then by all means set the discount level lower, but you generally don't want to go too low because otherwise you'll just end up losing money, and you don't want to lose money. This is all about making money. So after that long-winded explanation of how to set up this window, oh, one last thing. You might want to do the check scene count, and this will basically set it so that it won't tell you to buy an item if it's only seen one of that item or two of that item. This is just another way to help prevent yourself from getting ripped off. Because what some people do is they'll post like an item at some ridiculously exorbitant price and then post it again at a much, much lower price, and then your auctioneer quite smartly is going to go, hey, look, we've seen this at a higher price, you should buy it, you'll make some money. It doesn't work that way. If you want, you can check scene count, and then none of that. They'll have to work a lot harder to try and scam you. And then of course we're going to click search. It's going to go through its massive database of items, and it's bringing up a whole bunch of items. As you can see now, look at this list, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. And then I'm going to be explaining a bit of what all this information means to you. Okay, so let's go first, starting from the left-hand column. You've got your item. Okay, if you have a look at this, you've got your Zandalari ankle renderer. It's a beast. It's a or actually it's a little combat pet battle type thing, and that's the item name. That's what it is. You can see it's blue. That means it's rare. The percentage price, it reckons it's at 19%, so they're charging a lot less than it would reckon is normal. And if you have a look at this column, this is the profit column. This is how much money it reckons you will make if you buy this and then resell it. Okay, so you can see here it reckons that this terrible turnip pet will allow us to get 939 gold. I don't know about that. We'll have a look in a minute. So this is basically, that's the profit column. And then we've got the stack or STK column. That is how many of these items you're buying. So a pet can only stack in a thing of one, so that is obviously only going to be one. But if you look at this small glimmering shard, that's 10 in that stack, and this one's got 6 and this one's got 2. And then if we go out to buyout, this is the price that the item will buy out for. So if you just straight up buy it, that's the price it will charge you. In the bid column, that's how much it charges to bid on it. Reason. Okay, reason, it's saying resale. It's saying you want to buy this to resell it for money. And then next to it, it will either say buy or bid. And that's basically what its suggestion is, whether you should buy this item, straight up, just give them the cash and take it, or bid on this item. You'll see here most of it's buy, and then these glimmering shards it reckons you should bid on. Okay, right over there we've got a couple of bids. Then you've got the seller, that's the name of the person selling the item. And then let's just scroll through it a little bit more. I never really look at this. Generally, not really necessary. But left, that's how long the auction has to go. So if you're bidding, this is actually quite important. 48 hours, 12 hours. Obviously, the lower that left column is, that's the higher your chance of actually winning the bid, and how long you will obviously have to wait before you either get your money back or until you actually get the item. Then we've got buyout each. Now you'll see that the buyout each of the ones with higher stacks is different from the buyout of the whole stack, because it's per item in that stack, the price of it. And then bid each, same thing. Minimum bid, that's how much you're going to have to bid. Cur bid, this is the current bid on the item, so if someone else has bid on the item, you'll see it here. And then minimum each over here. And current each. I'm not quite sure what that is. I've never actually scrolled to the right hand side because I've never bothered looking at that before. But I am now learning something new by explaining this add-on quite thoroughly. So then we're going to go and we're going to have a scroll through here and have a look at this. Now, this terrible turnip thing, I'm pretty sure if it's really that good a deal that it would have sold by now. Let's have a look. We're going to go into the browse tab because I don't trust this. I want to see what the other terrible turnips are selling for, if there are any. So I'm going to go into the Browse tab and I'm going to search for terrible turnip, because remember there might be other items here that aren't listed. Okay, well we see a couple of turnips are listed here, and that item has gone because we've searched so long ago. That item has been bought, it is now gone, and these things are definitely not worth 1,000 gold. So now I see if I had bought that, I actually would have lost out. So that's why I'm doing the browse search on items that I'm sort of not really quite sure about. Generally, I kind of skip most of the rare items because most of it is just gear or random junk from ye olde times, and I can't really be bothered with it. It also tends to take longer to sell. Uncommon can be quite nice. For some of the metals, for example, they're quite nice as well, but really, right now I'm just sort of scrolling through them. You can probably hear my very, very noisy scroll wheel as I'm just scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. Ooh, what was that? Hang on. White Trillium ore, a stack of 20 for bidding at 1 gold and 70 silver. Okay, we're never going to win that, but it's got 12 hours to go. Well, whatever, let's give it a go. So we're either going to click bid, which will allow us to bid on it, or you could just click buyout if it had a buyout option, but it doesn't. And then if you click purchase, it will just go with auctioneer, what it reckons you should do. In this case it says bid, so if we click purchase, it will bid on the item. Purchase is basically the one button, it does what it reckons it should. And that's fantastic. And that white trillium ore seems to have gone. This is the problem with using out-of-date information. I really should have scanned first. But I've just searched for the white trillium ore, you can see it here, and we can select it and now bid. Select it and bid. We're going to get outbid, I'm telling you right now. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Then I'm going to keep scrolling through this uncommon stuff. I really don't like uncommon stuff either. It's better than rare generally. A lot of epic stuff is also just a waste of time. The more you do this, and the more I cover it in the videos, you'll start to see what is really worth your time and what is just absolute rubbish. And the more you scan the auction house, that will also be better. But seeing as we don't have like a year's worth of scanning data, I'm being incredibly careful with what I'm spending my money on. I see a lot of strange dust. That is a really huge amount of strange dust that has been posted. Don't buy enchanted thorium bar, it hardly ever sells. And the cloth tends to fluctuate quite a lot. Let's have a look. We've got some illusion dust at like 1 silver 15 copper bid, so let's get that. We've just bid on that. See, like I said, some of the best deals are bids, and now we're kind of scrolling through this. Don't buy that thorium setting. I think it's an engineering item. You don't want that. It won't sell. Then we've got some motes of air, motes of mana, motes of life. That is all good stuff. It's all good stuff. Some dreaming glory, that's also quite nice sometimes. Some light leather for some good bids. Some good bids there. Nope, that's already been taken. And some medium leather. And then we've got some fell iron ore. There's really too much fell iron ore for our gold total, so I'm going to skip over that where I might actually usually go and get all of it. Now let's have a look at this adamantite bar. Let's have a look at that. Adamantite bar. Remember, there may be other items that just aren't listed, and that's why we're checking this. And in this case, there are 2 bits of adamantite bar that would actually be, looks like they're at quite a decent price. So let's just straight up buy out these items. If you buy it this way, it won't show up in the resale window, but it doesn't really matter. This is just one of the tricks that I've kind of learned, is just, you know, you find an item, go and search for it, see if it's still there, and then you might even find more deals. And we've got some peace bloom. I'm going to avoid that. And we've got some copper ore at a very nice bid price. And some more copper ore at a very nice bid price. So we haven't spent too much gold yet. We've still got quite a bit of gold. Some tin ore at a nice bid price. I mean, bids, the bid price, I mean, look at how ridiculously low that is. If you get a whole bunch of tin ore for 2 silver and 45 copper, you're winning. You're really, really, really winning. So let's just keep going. We don't have to spend all our money. You know, it might take a little while for this stuff to sell, so we'll browse it every single day, and we'll get one of the best deals all the time. Khadgar's Whisker, let's bid on that. And we're just going to slowly go through this. Scrolling, 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 scrolling. Serenite Bar. Interesting. Let's have a look at that. Serenite Bar. It's actually a pretty decent price by the looks of it. Be wary when it has multiple pages, it will confuse you, because if you see look here, you think, oh, there's only like a couple of items at this price. You go to the next page, and guess what? There's a whole bunch more. So be careful with that, because the page system will really stuff you up when you're trying to look for good deals. Next minute you find that you've already been undercut by like 600 auctions. So check the page count and have a look at that when you're buying those items. And let's just keep having a look here. Being very cautious. We don't want to waste our very hard-earned money. Once we start getting more and more gold, we'll become a lot riskier, because we'll have more money to be risky with. But at this early stage, we're playing our cards very close to our vest. You know, we're low down on the poker chips. It's trying to be conservative and slowly get the poker chip total up, and then crush our enemies. And I've never played poker before, so I have no idea what I'm talking about, but it sounded like a good analogy at the time. Let's have a look at this Ember Silk Cloth. That seems to be going for a good bid price. Ember Silk Cloth. Yeah. Look at the multiple pages thing. There are 7 pages. That's page 1. Look at all these different prices. You see that's, ooh, and that's a nice bid. Let's bid on that. It's a tiny bid. And let's just keep having a look through here. Nah, that's too much. We don't have that kind of gold. And then we've got some Kryptonites at apparently some nice price, so let's have a look at that. I think it's Kyperite. There we go. Ooh, 3 pages of it. Looks like we can actually get it at a very nice price indeed. It's time to get some of that, so let's buy that out. Let's buy that out. I'll teach you how to configure this one-click buyout option in a bit. That will probably be the next episode, so I will just have to remember that. Come on. It's awfully slow. Anyway, that's all that you really need to know about for this particular episode. You're going to use that resale window. Remember to search first so that the item data is updated. And if you are having to search for very long periods of time, you may just wish to speed it up by searching for the items and buying them not through the resale window, but just straight up through the normal browse window by searching for it after you found it in the resale window. And I hope you enjoyed, and that maybe it's starting to speed up a bit in terms of the gold making series. Hope you enjoyed. Now go make some gold. Go make lots and lots of gold. Cheerio.